Yud-He-Vav-He, The Husband Betrayed, page 135. To define the gospel, we will begin with the words of the prophet Jeremiah, as reiterated by the mouth of Yud-He-Vav-He in Jeremiah 31, verses 31 through 32. Behold, days are coming, declares Jehovah, when I will make a renewed new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not like the covenant which I made with their fathers in the day I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, my covenant which they broke, although I was a husband to them, declares Jehovah. Pay attention to the words in bold. Jehovah considered himself to be like a husband. Mystically, physically, symbolically, call it whatever you want, to both houses of Israel. Indeed, the whole house of Israel, all 12 tribes, was much like a married woman, unique and special to Jehovah. Let us continue on with the words of Ezekiel 16, 6 through 8, which is Jehovah's love story with a people consecrated to be his chosen bride. The story in a nutshell is posted here. When I passed by you and saw you squirming in your blood, I said to you while you were in your blood, live. I said to you, while you were in your blood, live. I made you numerous like plants of the field. Then you grew up, became tall, and reached the age for fine ornaments. Your breasts were formed and your hair had grown, yet you were naked and bare. Then I passed by you and saw you, and behold, you were at the time for love, so I spread my skirt over you and covered your nakedness. I also swore to you and entered into a covenant with you that you become mine, declares Adonai Jehovah. But regardless of all the extravagant love that Jehovah wanted to give his bride, she was never completely content with receiving it, just as Moses had spoken centuries prior. For I know that after my death you will act corruptly, and turn from the way which I have commanded you, and evil will befall you in the latter days, for you will do that which is evil in the sight of Jehovah, provoking him to anger with the work of your hands. Volume 3129. Israel's divorce, page 136. After centuries of repeated attempts to soundly reason and speak kindly to the woman that he had chosen from out of all the nations, begging her to cease from her adulteries and Torah rebellion and return to him, which she never did, Jehovah had to finally take a measure that broke his heart. He broke the physical and spiritual unity of his bride in two. Perhaps metaphorically following the pattern of Leah and Rachel, the two brides of Jacob and matriarchs of all Israel, unified. After much agony, he divorced the 10 tribes of the northern kingdom for their unwavering adultery and collectively gave them a divorce decree, which I believe was issued in the court of heaven where no human eye sees or comprehends. Then, quite literally, he threw Israel out of his house, out of the physical land of Israel. As for the southern kingdom of Judah, Jehovah had every right to do the same because, quote, Judah did not fear, but she went and was a harlot also. Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8. However, because of his promise to David, saying, quote, your house and your kingdom shall endure before me forever. Your throne shall be established. 2 Samuel 7:12 through 17, and 1 Kings 8:25 and 9:5, also 1 Kings 15:4 through 5. Because of this promise to David, he kept the southern kingdom of Judah intact. The Tanakh can tell the story better than I. Thus says Jehovah, where is the certificate of divorce by which I have sent your mother away? Or to whom of my creditors did I sell you? Behold, you were sold for your iniquities, and for your transgressions your mother was sent away. Isaiah 50, verses 1 through 2. And I saw that for all the adulteries of faithless Israel, I had sent her away and given her a writ of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah did not fear, but she went and was a harlot also. Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 8. Contend with your mother, contend. For she is not my wife, and I am not her husband. and let her put away her harlotry from her face, and her adultery from between her breasts. Hosea 2:2. Let's compare this to the Aramaic Peshitta in Matthew 15:23 through 24. Send her away, for she is shouting out after us. But he answered and said, I was not sent except towards the prostituting sheep that are from the house of Israel. In Hebrew, the idea of this harlot being sent away and given a certificate or writ of divorce is built on the phrase Sefer Kritut. See also Jeremiah 3:8 and Isaiah 50 verse 1, which according to the Torah at Dvorim 24, 1 through 4, is a handwritten document of divorce. As it is written, when a man takes a wife and marries her, and it happens that she finds no favor in his eyes because he has found some indecency in her, and he writes her a certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand and sends her out from his house, and she leaves his house and goes and becomes another man's wife, and if the latter husband turns against her and writes her a certificate of divorce and puts it in her hand and sends her out of his house, or if the latter husband dies who took her to be his wife, then the former husband who sent her away is not allowed to take her again to be his wife. In perfect agreement with the Torah and the prophets, the northern kingdom 10 tribes were sent away with a physically invisible but nonetheless valid divorce decree. This meant that the northern kingdom was no longer considered a bride, she had no husband, and her children had no father. Now this divorced bride of Israel was free to attach herself to any man, meaning she was free to attach herself to any religious ideology or ism that she so desired. However, the southern kingdom of Judah did not have this relationship with Jehovah. They remained married to Jehovah as a bride, no less a harlot. Now this is where the problem really gets complicated. Remember, Jehovah had made an eternal promise to the patriarchs. See Genesis 12 verses 1 through 3, 17 1 through 8, 22 15 through 18, 26 3 through 5, and 28 13 through 15. He also made this promise to the whole nation of Israel through Moses. For this, you can see Deuteronomy chapter 1, verses 10 through 11, that all Israel, meaning all 12 tribes, would be called by his name. See Isaiah 43, verses 5 through 7, and would be returned and implanted on the Holy Land. See Amos 9, 14 through 15, and also would be classified as nothing less than his beloved bride. See Shir HaShirim, Song of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 8. And furthermore, he even swore an oath by his own name that these things would take place, thus making his promises impossible to revoke, as Paul correctly realized from Genesis 22, verse 17, as recorded in Hebrews 6, 13 through 14. For when Elohim made the promise to Abraham, since he could swear by no one greater, he swore by himself, saying, I will surely bless you, and I will surely multiply you. So how could all of these divine words and promises be fulfilled as an irrevocable divine oath if half of the divine holy bride had been given a certificate of divorce and thrown out of the house? I cannot imagine a man wanting to be married to half a woman any more than a woman wanting to be married to half a man. So now, let us return to our story as related through the words of the prophet Hosea, a prophet to the northern kingdom in the days of Isaiah. Because of divine foreknowledge, the prophet Hosea was chosen by Jehovah to be a picture of steadfast love and eternal promise and complete redemption for the northern kingdom, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. When Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh first spoke through Hosea, Jehovah said to Hosea, Go, take to yourself a wife of harlotry, and have children of harlotry, for the land commits flagrant harlotry, forsaking Jehovah. Also from Hosea 1, 2 through 10 in the English Bible, abridged. Then she conceived again and gave birth to a daughter. And Jehovah said to him, Name her Lo Ruhamah, For I will no longer have compassion on the house of Israel, that I should ever forgive them. But I will have compassion on the house of Judah, and deliver them by Jehovah their Elohim. Then she had weaned Lo Ruhamah. She conceived and gave birth to a son. And Jehovah said, Name him Lo Ami, for you are not my people, and I am not your Elohim. Then the number of the sons of Israel will be like the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured or numbered. And it will come about that in the place where it was said to them, You are not my people, it will be said to them, You are sons of the living Elohim. And the sons of Judah and the sons of Israel will be gathered together. Now, I must say that this prophecy from Hosea has a double-edged quality to it. One side is clearly judgment, the other side is clearly mercy. But it is because of the irreversible promises of Jehovah to our fathers that moved him to show relentless mercy in the place of strict judgment to a people bent on outright rebellion and spiritual adultery. In other words, his continued mercy was dispensed towards this people, as it was said in the Brit Hadashah to Kepha 70 times 7. When he was having a great difficulty understanding the concept of forgiveness. The purpose for such a display of great kindness was to draw all his people into teshuvah, repentance, a strange paradox indeed. From the Scriptures, we are able to see the results of such an unending love. Read Hosea 2, verse 7. And she will pursue her lovers, but she will not overtake them. And she will seek them, but she will not find them. Then she will say, I will go back to my first husband, for it was better for me than now. Also from Isaiah 54, verse 1, we read this, Shout for joy, O barren one, you who have borne no child. Break forth into joyful shouting, and cry aloud, you who have not travailed. For the sons of the desolate one, this is the divorced house of Israel, will be more numerous than the sons of the married woman, the house of Yehudah, says Jehovah. Also from Hosea 2, verses 16 through 19, we read this, And it will come about in that day, declares Jehovah, that you will call me Ishi, this means my man, and will no longer call me Baali, my lord or my master. For I will remove the names of the Baals from her mouth, so that they will be mentioned by their names no more. In that day I will also make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, the birds of the sky, and the creeping things of the ground. Compare this to the vision of Peter in Acts chapter 10. And I will abolish the bow, the sword, and war from the land, and I will make them lie down in safety. And I will betroth you to me forever. Yes, I will betroth you to me in righteousness and in justice, in loving kindness and in compassion. And I will betroth you to me in faithfulness. Then you will know Yud-He-Vav-He. Interestingly, why would Yud-He-Vav-He speak about a betrothal represented by the Hebrew word aras, Aleph, Resh, Shin, an engagement to a new marriage relationship, if the subject of the prophecy is already married? It is apparent to this writer that the subject of the prophecy, the northern kingdom of Israel, is not married to Jehovah. Otherwise, why make the point of a future promise of engagement, marriage, and knowing Jehovah? I believe it can only be understood in light of the whole counsel of the Tanakh, the word of Jehovah, that reveals the restoration of a love relationship that was at one time broken off because of infidelity. Once rejected, they would in the future be accepted as a people. See Hosea 2:1 in the Tanakh, it's chapter 2, verse 3. Say to your brothers, Ami, meaning my people, and to your sisters, Ruhamah, meaning mercy. Also see Isaiah 62, verses 3 through 5, as it is written, You will also be a crown of beauty in the hand of Jehovah, and a royal diadem in the hand of your Elohim. It will no longer be said to you, Forsaken, nor to your land will it any longer be said, Desolate, but you will